Hey, this is Yanni. I'm just going to talk about some basic information about the episode. Wow, this is basically a chat between me and my teacher from Goa, India, and I'm just a student from Macau, China, and we are going to talk about some cultural difference between the two places and also about religion, like our thoughts on beliefs or faiths, and the episode will be separated into two, and the first one we will focus on the religion part, and the second one we will talk about the cultural difference part, and also why my teacher come and settle down in Macau. So please enjoy this episode, and yes, it will be conducted in English. It's a bit weird for my old audience, but yeah, please enjoy it.
So we're back to the culture part.
Okay.
Yeah. So I wonder, when do you first come to Macau?
Oh, I came to Macau as a young bride. A long time ago, about 30 years ago.
Whoa.
Yes. Yeah.
That's a long time.
Yep, it is.
Well, is it before
when the Portuguese were there?
Yeah,
yes. Yeah.
Oh, so
Yeah.
you witnessed the whole
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, I did.
Mm-hmm. So what was Macau's attractive point to you?
Actually, when I first came to Macau, because I got married, I came to join my husband here. And that time Macau was very quiet, didn't have so much mobility. Like there were only about 100,000 people in Macau. Oh. Yes. And I felt, when I first came to Macau, okay, this is not a place where there are a lot of restrictions. In the sense of religion, that was one of the first thing I noticed. Okay, here there are churches, and it is in a language I can understand. I can go to church, and then there are no restrictions on food, because before many people from Goa would go to the Middle East for jobs. Oh. And there, that in the Middle East, they are Muslims, and there are restrictions, like Christianity cannot be followed, you can't have meat, or you dress in a certain way. So when I came to Macau, I found this place is very similar to Goa. Like there are so many churches to go to. Then I was surprised that, there are so many streets with Portuguese names. Oh. And we also have many streets with Portuguese names. So there were similarities. And then I looked around, and there were buildings with the Portuguese architecture, which we also have in Goa. So there were similarities. Yeah, I found that in some ways we had similarities. Yeah.
But do you think, for now, Macau is still Portuguese speakers friendly?
No, it's phasing out. You can see Portuguese is phasing out at a faster pace. And I think there is a bigger influence of English now than 30 years ago. Yeah.
I see. But at that time, I think in Macau, not that many people are coming from foreign countries.
Yeah, not many.
Yeah.
Very few.
Yeah, Chinese are the majority.
Yeah.
So I wondered because I learned that for Chinese, especially for the elderly one, they somehow have some bad attitude towards people from different places.
Yeah. If you would ask me, did I ever get discriminated in Macau? Yes, not a lot, but there has been a few instances, and even now, they sometimes think that I can't understand what they're saying, and they say something that I understand. But I find that kind of like very subtle discrimination is not from educated people. It's from people who are either very old or people who are not educated. You know, they will make that. They will make, like, they will say something, you know, and then, like, I was in the bus the other day, and the day at the school bazaar, and so I took the seat, the red seat where the old people sit. Yeah, and I was sitting there. So this woman comes and she sits next to me. Later, somebody else comes, an older person comes, and then the woman sitting next to me offers her the seat. And then they speak in Cantonese and they say, she shouldn't be sitting there. That's me. I shouldn't be sitting in the old lady's seat. And, and so, you know, then she says, then the other woman tells, oh, but don't ask her. And on the other seat, in a old people's seat, there is a man. You know, he's strong, he has little gray hair, but he's not very old. They are not thinking of asking him to stand up, but they're thinking of asking me. But I wouldn't. I would ask them to tell him. So you see, subtle. Sometimes it's, you know, most of the time it's they'll say something about the color. Yeah. Otherwise, I think being in a school situation as a teacher, like, I feel people in Macau, they respect teachers a lot, so I'm not really at the receiving end of a lot of discrimination. Yeah.
Like, do you think the living environment or the things you experience in Macau and China are different or just similar environment?
There are subtle differences, you know, like, I think Macau people are more receptive to foreigners now, you know, in the last maybe 15-20 years. Macau people, because Macau is such a melting pot, you see all people from all different places. So Macau is okay, like, they won't treat you badly or something like that, because they know that there are so many foreigners here. In China, well, now, first when, like, I used to go to China, you know, they would all come and stare and look at us, you know. Yeah, but now I think not so much. Yeah,
I think so. Like, I think in, like, big cities like Shanghai, those you don't need to worry, or they are more diversified than Macau.
They are. Yes.
But for some inland cities, there are still the problem.
But in China, if you know the language, immediately the whole attitude will change.
I think so in Macau. Okay. So, like, is there any culture shock that you experienced in?
Yes, I did. Now I am an assimilated Macau local, so it does not bother me so much now. But when I first came to Macau, you know, I was surprised how loud people were. You would get in a bus, people are loud. You would go to a restaurant, and my gosh, they're talking so loudly. It's not like, you know, only for your table, you can hear them. And that was one of the culture shocks. The other one was, you know, sort of table manners, but I think it's acceptable here in Macau. People would eat, and, you know, all the bones and like the tissue, everything all over your table. So that was a culture shock for me.
Okay, I see. Well, like in Goa, you're eating with forks and knife?
We have both. If you go to a Hindu family, they will enjoy food with their hands. And if you come to a Catholic family, yes, most of the time it's the European way, but there are certain foods that we will eat just using our hands. So it's not strictly westernized or the Indian way. We follow both.
Do you find like the food in Macau are somehow like the Indian or the Goa food? Like state native compared to Goa?
Not really. You know, like how you have special Macanese dishes over here, which is, you know, which comes from the Portuguese, like the African chicken, or you have the minchi, right? With the minced meat. It's only found here in Macau, right? And that's because of the colonial influence. We also have foods which are only found in Goa. And like we have a cake which is made up from semolina and coconut, but that can only be found in Goa because it was brought by the Portuguese. So they are native. So there are certain foods
you cannot find here. Okay. But like,
because when you say there's a place called Goan Nights, but the food is not really Goan. It's more Indian than Goan.
Is there, like, Goa was colonized by Portuguese? Is there like really big gaps between India and Goa, like their culture?
Yes, very big gaps in everything. In the way we speak our language. Our language is a mix of local regional language and Portuguese. So half the words are from Portuguese. And then the way we dress. So the Indians, like I'm also an Indian now. Like you mean the mainland Indians, they have like the traditional dresses. Our traditional dress is like a Western dress. If we wear the saris, you know, the long, that is because it's a fashion now. And even in the way we cook our food, it's different. For example, if a Hindu cooks a meal, they don't eat beef and pork. Because for them cow is holy. But the Christians, we have no restrictions. So even if they, you know, they're very hesitant when they come and visit us because they think, oh, it's defiled by being, you know, this place is defiled, like not clean anymore because it's like we have cooked chicken, no, not chicken, sorry, beef and pork. So there are lots of differences like this. So like if you buy a samosa, it's like appetizer. You know, it's a triangular thing. So if a Catholic family is making that, they would put beef in it. But if a Hindu family is making that, they will put vegetables in it.
Like for Goa, like most religion come from like Western world, right? So like I've heard of, I don't know if it's a rumor, but like in mainland India, there are cows everywhere in the street.
Yes, it's true.
How about Goa?
We also have some. Because you know, these are wild cows. They don't come from people's homes. So we have a lot of hills. So there are cows there, and because they don't belong to anyone, right? So they sometimes roam the streets.
Okay.
And then, of course, no one will kill them and eat them because they are just, you know, wild.
But like for people believing the religion in India, they have like they don't eat the like the cows, right? But like will they like forbid you?
No, because in India there are also Muslims and Christians and other religions which eat beef. So it's not prohibited.
So it's quite peaceful.
We are allowed to. They don't put restrictions on what we eat.
So like you're speaking a mixture of Portuguese and a Goa language. Like
it's called Konkani.
Konkani.
Konkani,
Konkani.
Yes.
Like if it's for people from the mainland India, they are like migrating to Goa, will they find it quite difficult to get into the society?
The language, our language is easy to pick, you know, and also there is like the neighboring state, they have something called Marathi, where some of the words from our language are also found in that language. But certain words they would not understand if they are in Portuguese.
But I learned that like in India there are a number of...
Yes, there are many languages, and there are some friends we have, the only way we can communicate to each other is in English. Because we come from different states and we don't speak the same language.
So a majority of Indian population didn't know English?
Yes, they do.
Even for the like less educated one?
Because in most states, you know, education is compulsory. So English is taught. Okay. Unless there are, you know, villagers in rural areas who have never gone to school, they won't know.
Okay, so there's another thing that I'm curious about. Like in India, we got the caste system.
Caste system. Yes.
What's the situation?
I think they still have the caste system in other parts of India. In Goa, among the Hindus, yes, they had the Brahmins at the top. They are the like the priests. And then they had the soldiers, you know. And then they had below them the other workers. Yes, they had. But luckily for us, we didn't get caught in the caste system. The Christians.
So like for Goa, for the years that has been colonized by Portuguese, you're never influenced by the system?
No, there were, but it was not so much by the caste, but like I remember my grandmother saying, don't ever get married to a person from a fisher folk family, the fishermen. And then I asked her why, and she says, no, they sell fish in the market, they are sitting down and so many customers come to them, and you know, it's not nice. So now, like, it is mainly, I think people are educated, and actually, sadly, Goa, we have, I think, around 1.5 million people, and out of 1.5 million people, only 58,000 are real Goans, and the rest are all migrants. Because Goan people have Portuguese passports, they have all left Goa, and they are in Europe and in other places. So Goa, because it's a beautiful state along the coast, so you know, it's full of tourists and filled up with migrants.
I heard that like even for the caste system is illegal for now.
Now it is illegal because you might have read and heard, like in India there was like bride burning, right? They would kill the girls and burn them because they were supposed to bring dowry. So then many people protested. So by law it is not legal, but I'm sure there are places where they still you know, do that.
Because I've heard a saying that like when you're looking for a job, like your senior will ask you your surname, and they will like treat you badly if you're from the lower grade. I think in big cities like Delhi in the north, they still have a kind of, they're called low caste people, they're called Dalits, and they are not allowed to mingle with the other people. They have to live on the outskirts of the city, and they're treated really badly. Even now?
Even now.
Okay. So now I think like for people that are not familiar with India, we have a assumption that the safety is something that we need to worry about, or the what is it called? Like the clean, it's not clean enough.
The hygiene,
the hygiene. and I wonder, like, the real situation.
Yeah. You know, whenever I go from Macau, when I go back home, I go from Mumbai. Yeah, so because there are no direct flights to Goa, so we have to spend a few hours in Mumbai, and I'm very scared, like, of that place, because there are millions of people. There are people who could steal from you, because there have been lots of incidents, so even like you go outside the airport and take a taxi, maybe it's not safe, so that's why we take from the airport. There are big cities are dangerous.
Big cities are dangerous?
Like for me, like New Delhi, I think it would be very dangerous. Bombay, very dangerous. Because there are pickpockets, there are all kinds of people, and cleanliness is also a big issue, because even for us, when we go, if we live in a outside in a hotel or something, we can't adapt to that, the hygiene and the water.
They say you can never drink the water from the tap. So
when we go home where we have access to clean water, like filtered water, so it's safe once we are home. And Goa is what has made Goa dangerous, or rather a little bit dangerous, is the migrants. And we have not only local, I mean domestic, like coming from other states of India, we have a lot of Russians who have settled down in Goa now.
Why is Russian
because
dangerous?
Because they bring drugs. And prostitution. And I don't know if you've heard this, but Goa is the only state in in India where we have floating casinos. So that brings, when there is gambling, there are women, there is, but like, all those sort of things.
But in Macau, we have like gambling industry as well. But I don't see Macau as that, like, not safe.
Macau is fine, because here I think people earn more. So like the government makes sure that and the government also makes sure that the city is kept clean. But in Goa as well as in India, if you go to people's home, their homes are clean. It's the squatters, it's the people in the slums who have moved into the big cities. They have no place, of their own. They can't afford rents. So they are squatters. So they have no running water. They don't have toilets. So that's where all the pollution comes from. And also some governments are not rich enough to provide, garbage disposal and all of those things.
But I've heard that, like, in Macau a long time ago, like also due to the gambling industry, like, it's not that safe, or like it's somehow in chaos as well, like
before true,
Southeast Asia. You witnessed that situation?
Yes. I think Macau, even first when I came here, even the immigration was such a mess. They have no system. You just had to line up not even line up, everyone would like jump over each other, Now there is a proper system. It's much more organized now than ever before.
Like, how about, like, we've talked about the hygiene in India, or the safety issue. Like in Goa, is it the same situation with India? Or?
In some places, yes. Some places, like, it depends on where you live, because there are people in certain, they call them wards, like certain areas. So and they have, like, their own ward member who represents you in the government. So they take it on them to provide dustbins. They take it on them to collect the garbage. So if you are in that type of a place, then it's fine. It's clean. Yeah, like the place where my mother lives, every morning, you know, they come to pick the garbage. So there is like dry waste and there's the wet waste. Yeah, and they come and they pick for you, you know.
Better than Macau.
Yeah, and then they clean up your streets. So they maintain that for you.
So like if I would like to visit India in some day, like, is there any places or city that you recommend?
India has a lot of history and culture. There's a lot to see and do, you know. And I think if you go with the local, yeah, it's safe. Or even if you go, like I've so many people have been there, you know, and they enjoy it. You can enjoy the street food, you know. If you're ready to spend a little bit of money and stay in a good place, yeah, it's a good experience. Unfortunately, I have not seen as much of India as I have seen of China. Yeah, I have seen more cities in China, and like, you know, than in my own home place, because I think I've lived here longer.
Yeah. But like, you still got some relatives in India?
Not many, because my family is all spread in different parts of the world. But I do have a home there, and I go there. And it's actually a nice place to be in, because it's green and it's beautiful, and you know, it's not tiny like Macau. You can go somewhere, you can go for a long drive, and here in Macau the only place you can go to is Kowan, you know, there. And people enjoy life, you know, people like music, partying. It's like relaxing. So, and even the whole idea of a neighborhood is different, because you can sit in your balcony, you can enjoy a cup of tea, and your neighbors will be walking by, they will wish you, you know, it's a nice feeling.
It's so nice for retirement.
Even otherwise it's beautiful.
Like, will you have any homesick, like after you grew up there, right?
In the beginning, I used to feel homesick. Now I'm so used to Macau. And I think my husband, for him, Goa is paradise, and that's one place like he feels the most at ease. But my sons, they don't like quiet places. They like Macau. So for them, they enjoy the peace and quiet only for a few days, but they can't think of, you know, settling there.
Okay, so I think that's it for today.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you
for your time.
You're welcome.
Thank you
for listening to me.